90% of parents really don't know how to track their child's progress in GCSE Spanish because they don't speak Spanish. But if you stick around for the next few minutes, I'm going to be walking you through exactly how you as a parent can be tracking your child's progress, setting realistic targets, and having those informed conversations with your child's teacher or tutor to guarantee that your child is on track and stays on track for those top grades that they're aiming for. And if you would like my guide, a parent's guide to tracking GCSE Spanish progress, then drop the word progress tracker down below and I will send it right to you. But first, if you don't know me, hey, my name's Estriana. I'm the director here at the GCSE Spanish Academy, where what we do here is we take students from wherever they are to a grade 9 without becoming overwhelmed or having to give up on their summer holidays. And every single time I pop into your newsfeed, I'm giving you an actionable tip and a tool to help you do that too. So a lot of parents are tracking their child's progress by doing a couple of things. They're either waiting for the end of half term or end of term reports, which give very little information. They might be calling up the teacher and they might be having conversations with the teacher, but then they think they're not quite sure exactly what they need to be doing as a parent, what they need to be tracking, and they might get a little bits of advice like make sure that they're learning vocabulary, etc. But it's not really making very much of a difference. And here's why. Because you're not empowered as a parent to really make those informed decisions. You're the one that sees your child every single day. You are the one that is actually best equipped to identify those little drops and peaks as well in your child's progress and be able to see whether what they're doing is actually working. And so I'm going to walk you through part of one of my students, their progress reports. And every single time we have a progress report here at the GCSE Spanish Academy, we look at these KPIs, these key progress indicators, and then we set a target. And then that means that parents are well equipped to know exactly what is going to be expected of their child by the end of the half term. Okay, as you can see, we set these every single half term. And when the students started working with me, so in autumn one, right at the beginning of the year, I think they started in about October, we were looking at, or the key progress indicator here was the rate of recall. Now, there are different indicators of progress depending on where your child is working. So this student was working between a grade 2 and a 3, and so we just really wanted to get good at, and what was showing as progress is their ability to recall and remember information. So in this week, are they able to remember more at the end of next week than they were last week, and so on. And so then we set a particular target. Their target was around grammar because they were working at about a grade 2 or 3. And so we wanted them to be able to write, which requires recall, in the present and the preterite tense, so the present and the past tense in the first, so the I form, and the third person he, she, it form, when they completed a GCSE style task. Okay, and so one of the key things that you can get to know as a parent to be able to create this is, okay, you can ask your child's teacher or their tutor, what is it that you are looking for at the end of this half term? What does success look like for my child in terms of what can I be tracking? And so they should be able to tell you what you as a parent can be tracking. And you can track their rate of recall by simply asking them questions, the same question at the beginning and at the end, whether at the beginning of the week and at the end of the week. Have they been able to recall more? Then yes, their rate of recall is improving. Has it slowed? Then, and you can track it. Okay, so you can say, okay, they were able to remember, I don't know, 5 bits, or they were able to remember 6 bits now at the end of the week. It's going up, but maybe they were able to remember 5 bits maybe at the beginning of the week, and now it's only 3, so it's going down. We need to then look at some level of intervention. Okay, and with this particular student, we were looking at literally just 2 parts of the verb in 2 different tenses when they were completing a GCSE style task. So it's then, what do you want my child to be able to show by the end of the half term? Okay, because there needs to be something that they can show. So what can I track? What are some of the things that I can look for in terms of progress? And what should my child be able to show by the end of the half term? This is going to help you identify what specific tasks they actually need to be doing in their revision. So for this particular student, right at the beginning of working with myself, we were doing 90-word tasks. Okay, then moving on, if we have a look at autumn 2, again, we're still looking at the rate of recall. We're still looking at them to be able to actually, this time, is speed up their recall, because they were getting full marks in these 90-word tasks, but it was taking too long. And so we were now looking at how quickly they were able to recall information. So we're still looking at that GCSE 90-word task. We're being really specific about what I want included in there, and then we're looking at the time again. So this is what I want them to be able to show me that they can do by the end of the half term. If you've got a really clear picture of that as a parent, you know, as I said, what the revision needs to look like. You can ask the teacher then, okay, you're 3 weeks in, how are they doing in terms of these 90 words? Where's the issue? Are they struggling with the 2 to 3 ideas with 3 sentences, or is the time an issue, or are they ahead? So you can be really clear on exactly what your child is doing. If we have a look here, it's actually still rate of recall, but this time we're doing a different GCSE style task, and there is a time limit. This student made rapid progress actually because of what we were doing between autumn 1 and spring 1, and we were then looking at the higher GCSE style tasks. Okay, and so we're very specific about what we want them to get, what we want them to include, and how long it should take them. Again, what do I want my child to be able? What do you want your child to be able to show? Well, I want them to be able to do a 150 word, making sure that they've got 2 complex ideas that are expressed with 3 or more sentences in both of the bullet points. I want them to be able to do it in about 30 minutes, and I'm looking for them to be getting about 21 out of 32 here in spring 1 of year 10. And then if we have a look just quickly down here, this is progress per session. So this is different. So this is a different key progress indicator. For the first 3 half terms, we were looking at making sure that this particular student was how quickly and what they were able to remember. Now we're wanting them to be able to make progress every single session. Why? Because they are now working at that grade 6-7 mark here. Look, they started here at working between a 2 and a 3, and now they're working between a grade 6 and a 7. And so now what is required of the student is to develop a little bit of independence. So when they are revising, when they are doing a task, what we're wanting for them to do is to go as far as they can possibly go, because between here and here we've given them the tools to be able to really be successful at Spanish on their own. And so now we're looking at them going as far as they can possibly go on their own, and then being able to ask really good questions or do some really good research to really fill those gaps. And so look, we are now really focusing on vocabulary here, making sure that they're able to do listening and reading, whereas here it was just particularly writing. But we are looking at the higher vocabulary, so they need to be making progress every single session. They should be able to ask questions and participate in sessions that's going to lead to them making or improving their mark, improving their grade, and that is what we're looking for. But again, we're really specific on the percentage that we want them to get, okay, for vocabulary tests and for reading and listening style tasks, for them to again stay on track, that by the time that we get here, they should already be working at a grade 9 well before here. I think I am projecting that they're working at a grade 9 kind of by the end of their year, by the end of year 10, this particular student. So again, to be really clear, the 2 things that you really want to make sure that you are asking your child's teacher is, what are some of the things that I can track? And then what do you want my child to be able to show you by the end of this half term? If you can have those really informed conversations with your child's teacher, you've got that key progress indicator to be looking at, and then you've also got a target that you can create for your child, or your child will have already created. And if you're doing this as a habit every single half term, what you'll find is your child will start to have momentum and make progress. So I've got a guide that walks parents through exactly how you can do this. And if you would like my parents' guide to progress tracking, then drop the word progress tracker down below and I will send it over to you. Right, that's it from me. Adios.